I trust you're all doing good. It's your host Aman and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, you can like the video, subscribe and turn on notification for more video like this and as well for more content like this. So here let's do more together and welcome to the family. So of recent here I made a video on the GAT AUDNZD before now. So of recent I developed my love for this particular pair because of what's it called, because of the price action it's printing from the higher time frame to the lower time frame narrative. So people say I take things very easy, and I understand. Make sure you understand this process, and it's not something complicated. It's just something very easy to understand. So what are we talking about here? You see, take a look at AUDNZD like on a monthly time frame. You know, whatever we are doing, we are going to look at charts from a higher time frame perspective, right? So let's see what exactly is going on the 6 months time frame. Then move to the monthly, then move to whatever time frame you're looking at too. So we are still very much bullish on AUDNZD, like we are very bullish. So for the last 6 months, this is a 6 months candle and this is a 6 months candle. This is more like a year candle. We have been actually bullish, like just impulsive bullishness to the upside. So see what we are now talking about actually. If you go to your 3 months time frame, you see we had what's it called? You see have some bullish sentiment on the line on the candlestick chart. So here, if you go to your 1 month time frame, you see that we had the same bullishness in the price actually. So whatever we are looking at is going to be here in this region here. So what I'm about to explain today is just in this particular region in price. So please pay attention to details because the attention you pay actually matters a lot. You know, they say nothing is free, even for even for free stuffs you have to pay attention. So take a look at what we have here, take a look at what we're talking about actually. So see what we have right here. So this is what we have on a weekly time frame. So this is more like this is more like on a on Monday. This is on Monday, April 26th. Yeah, sorry, 6th of April rather. This is 6th of April. This is more like last month weeks, and here this is more like 13th of April. This is 20th of April, and this is more like 27th of April. So this is more like an April candlestick chart here, more like an April price on a weekly time frame. We had this, right? So this is on a weekly time frame. So this is what we had on a weekly time frame. So to make things much more easier for ourselves, see what we had on a weekly time frame. So this is more like a April price action here. We are trying to investigate and analyze ourselves, right? So you know, I told you guys about different forms of what's it called of CRT candles with rejection actually with MSNR levels. We have the one with the A-shaped key level rejection. We have the one with the V-shaped key level rejection. We have the one with the upper close key level rejection. You can go back on my chart and others and try to watch those videos I made as regards the CRT with the A-shaped key level rejection, CRT with the V-shaped key level rejection, and CRT with the open close key level rejection. So this is more like a CRT with what's called A and V-shaped key level rejection respectively. So what are we talking about? So more like you have a support zone here, or what's it called? You know, we have V-shaped key level to sponsor support and A-shaped key level to sponsor resistance. Then you have more like a CLT candle trading as what's it called as very close to what's it called to the A-shaped key level or the V-shaped key level as the case may be. So we have something of this nature. Then we had his. So I'm trying to make the analogy easy and self-explanatory as possible as yeah here as possible actually. So let me increase the depth of this and let's talk about this. So let's just put this visual order, just bring to the front. So you have this, right? So this is more like what we're talking about actually. So this is more like a CRT low right here. So this is more like a CRT high right here actually. So here, you know, what CRT does is just for you to manipulate the high, then you close below, then you have CISD, then you distribute to the external high. So that's basically what we trade on CRT candles actually majorly. So see what we are talking about. So the same thing actually goes for the A-shaped key level, the same logic goes for the V-shaped key level, the same logic goes for the open close key level. Just look at the open close key level in this format because you know open close key level are formed by the opening and closure of candlestick, right? So this one, like let's say this one like a candlestick right here that are closed, and this is one that actually open. So this is more like a what's it called, an open close key level format. Same logic actually still happens with the A-shaped key level, the V-shaped key level, and the open close key level, or even an imbalance as well. So take a look at that. So I made a couple of videos as regards this, explaining this to you guys. Just go back and watch those videos and to have a better explanation of what we are talking about as regards what's it called as regards open close key level rejection to CRT candlestick actually. So talking of that, so see we had this right here. So I was saying this, like I made a video last week as regards this, and this has already completed the whole CI2 cycle. So we had this high, right? We had this high and we had this low. So this particular one here is a CRT low, and here right here is the CRT high that we had right there. So talking of that, so we had this rejection from an open close key level right here on the higher time frame, right? So after that, this is more like a CRT range in which I said is going to get completed in the last video that I made as regards AUDNZD, and in which it already did already. So it's more like when you are trading CRT with MSNR, you are less concerned about your direction, or you have less panic about your direction, because when you get your direction right, then you focus more energy on your entries. So your entries are very very important and very very crucial. Like I said in yesterday live stream on my Telegram, that you have to ensure that you make your entry model your own. Don't just copy someone entry model without actually trying to, what's it called, backtest the entry model and see how it works well for your own strategy. So talking of that, so you have this and you have that. So after that, you had a very impulsive break of structure to the upside. We broke structure here first and foremost. Here you see, how do you mark a break of structure? Just go back to your line chart to see them very very clear. So this is like a break of structure, then another break of structure here. We broke the structure on a higher time frame. Don't forget this on higher time frame levels, right? So we are breaking structure, which what's it called, which is more like what we are looking for. Like here, we already had a bullish structure. Though break of structure is going to commemorate whatever idea we had behind the bullishness in price actually. So see what we're talking about. So after that is what I'll be talking about. You have this rejection to the upside, then we have a CRT range as well. So instead we still come back again. Sorry, we still came back again for this level, and we tap into this level and we push again to the upside. Don't know why this is repeating itself. Here we tap into this particular level and we push again to the upside like this. So this is more like an RBS resistance broken down support. Then we continue that way. But here let's go to daily time frame to see more to the chart. So going to daily time frame, what do you see? So on daily time frame, you see that it's actually more like a CRT candlestick. All of them are actually more like a CRT and CRT here. So pay attention to this. So let's clear up this drawing and let's continue what we're trying to talk about. So see what happened here. So this is more like a CRT low right here. This more like a CRT low right here, and this more like a CRT high right here, like a CRT high right here. So this is more like a CRT low right here and CRT high, and more like this open close key level rejection that we had right here. So this is more like a CRT range that we had right here in this regards actually. We had a CRT range, and see what happened here. We had a break of structure to the upside, more like a body break of structure to the upside. So talking of that, we had other CRT candles as well, which is this one right here. So the CRT low as well. This is another CRT high. I think this is one of the reasons why I said I fell in love with this price action, because the CRT are actually very very complementary. And what do you see here? You had an imbalance right here that sponsor more like a POI for the CRT for the whole CRT range actually. So it's more like this more like an imbalance that sponsor the whole CRT range to the upside again. So after that, what do you look at? See, we saw the same thing that happened right here. Same thing that happened here again. We have the CRT low right here. We have an imbalance right here. So this one like an imbalance that sponsored again the CRT range again. This one like a CRT high again to the upside, right? It's more like a CRT high to the upside. So that same stuff that happened right there still happen here again. So this is more like a CRT low right here, and this is an imbalance right here actually. So this is more like a CRT high again to the upside. So see what we are talking about. The same format, the same stuff that happened are happening repeatedly. They are just happening repeatedly. Like what's it called? They are basically repetition of what works. So you could just take a look at it and see what I'm trying to explain in a nutshell. Just like if you understand your CRT markings clearly and you understand your structure with your candlestick narratives, you make L out of this market, because you see what we are talking about is just something very very what's it called, it looks so logical but it's not magic. It's very very easy to comprehend, and if you pay attention to your charts clearly, you see them most of the times. You see, even when you understand it, this is the direction that you trade the whole direction for the whole week. Just imagine you got a trade around this region and you see what exactly is going on. So I'm trying to make sure you understand that the markets of CRTs are not really that hard. They are very very easy to mark. Just that you need to have a very sharp vision and understand the logic behind whatever markings you are doing. So this is just basically what's it called, what a CRT market actually looks like on AUDNZD on a daily time frame. So if you take a look at this, you see that we are actually trying to repeat the same thing over and over again. The same sweep of the previous CRT low here, overlap tapping into a key level, which is on like an upper close key level, and this is like CRT high range that we had right there. After the break of the what do you have? You have a CRT again here, something like a CRT that happened right here, like a CRT range that happened right there on Wednesday. Then we swept the low, manipulated it with what's called, we filling the imbalance, After we felt the imbalance, we closed above it again, then CRT high this way again, right? So the CRT could not really take this high out impulsively at first, then it came down again to the downside, then it still had a CRT low again for the something like yeah. The same thing happen again and again. So I will urge you guys, after you watch this particular video, go ahead to your AUDNZD chart and understand what exactly is going on, because you can only know it when you actually practice it on your own after acquiring some knowledge from other people as well. As if acquire some knowledge on this particular video, you can just go back and go to your chart and understand that okay, this is what Aman was trying to explain, and let me even check it again as well for myself on my chart. So yeah, let's dive deep into this lower time frame narrative. Yeah, going to lower time frame here, see what we have right here. So this is on 4 hours time frame. So let's zoom out here, basically. So I would like you guys to understand something else got AUDNZD. I think some peers actually have a what's it called, a peculiar clear time frame. What do I mean? Like if you have a lower time frame you're looking at and you cannot really see anything on that particular key level or that particular time frame, you can also just check like a lower time frame, like a odd what's it called? Is it odd here? Odd time frame like 45 minutes and 3 hours rather, sorry, and 3 hours and 45 minutes actually. So talking of AUDNZD this time around, so you see we had this rejection that we marked on a higher time frame, which is more like this on that higher time frame level. So go back to your daily time frame to see why we marked that level. So this is an upper close key level on the daily time frame, right? So I'm giving a scenario of how you can actually frame your entry from what's it called, from a lower time frame if you not really see anything clear on an H4. So see what we are looking at on here. So this is on H4. Speaking of that, we had this on H4. So these are the daily time frame weekly level that we marked, and this on H4, right? So after this first rejection that we had right here on the daily time frame, and this is more like our CRT low. What do we have? So we had a breakout already, making this V-shaped one a very strong one, right? We had this breakout already, but here we had a breakout after we manipulate. We tap into the A-shaped level, like we had this breakout after the what's it called? After this manipulation of this particular low, right? So making this the V-shaped level we are trying to use actually. But here it holds, but there's more to it actually, because this breakout that happened right here, it did not really just happen for fun actually. You have to just check a lower time frame to see what happened to that particular week, in which this key level you marked as your new key level can actually serve as maybe a liquidity for that particular week. What I'm trying to say is that whenever you have a longer week, or it's got a longer week money reaction from a key level, then you can actually try to investigate all of this whole week reaction there to see if this is going to be what's it called, a key level to buy from actually. So instead of it, you just work on to with this as your new key level. You see, all of this price action actually closed above it, but the week is what I'm trying to explain to you. Like, why do we have a longer week actually? Why do we have a very long week, as the case may be? But here, AUDNZD are very prone to having longer week reaction or trigger in price what's it called, position tool actually, because even if you see here, you see that we have a longer week as well. But here you have to just know that, so you can actually know, you calculate your ASL, not like a random or your conventional peers actually. So let's go to a 3 hours time frame. That's what I'm trying to say here. So the 3 hours time frame, you see that we had what's it called, we had this we are trying to investigate more on that particular week. That's why we went to 3 hours time frame. But 3 hours time frame, the reverse is the case actually, because you see we had this, in which that was what I was explaining before. Now the 3 hours time frame already shows that the first reaction that happened from that daily time frame key level has already given us a break of structure to the upside, which is this one right here. So already had a breakout already in 3 hours time frame, but not really visible on an H4. So 3 hours time frame give us that fractal price structure that we're actually looking at. So it gives us a breakout, and this is more like a CRT low that we're looking at, right? So people that are saying that you do entry videos on entry models, this is more like what you need actually majorly. So after the breakout, what you look at, what do you see? You see we had a liquidity form there. We had multiple breakouts actually. We had multiple breakouts. Then after the multiple breakout, what do we have? We had what's it called? We have liquidity pool. We have trend line confluence, and we have liquidity. What do I mean? We have this trend line confluence. We have this liquidity right here, and we have this trend line confluence. What do I mean? So we have all of this trend line confluence. Let me try to turn that off. So all of this trend line confluence. The reason why this actually went so deep is just maybe sort of all this trend line confluence that happened right here. So here, so take a look at that. You had this all of this trend line confluence. We use the line, and we can actually still use the body. Depends on where exactly we add on that particular chart. So all of this actually. So this is why The reason why I mark this is because it's because it's just for us to know how deep our entry is going to be actually. But here, see what we are looking at. So we are looking at this bishop level to buy from, which is what exactly the happen right here. So what is what exactly that happened right here in price coming? This that happened right here in price. That reaction that happened right there. So see what happened right there. So it's tap into that particular level and start to pump again to the upside. So it came back for that level again. Like here, it still came back and tried to respect the whole time. The what's it called? The whole what's it called? The whole trend line what's it called, the trend line narrative actually. See what I'm talking about here. But here it is what it is actually. You can never tell what exactly is going on until you understand the logic behind them. So we are looking at this more like an entry model from here. You know, your SL is still going to be what's it called, it's still going to be this. The reason why what's it called, the reason why we said the trend line actually very very essential is because it helps you to understand how deep your entry is going to be whenever they trigger, and to help you just give you an insight of what a SS should look like. So you know, normally you have to place your SL below here, right? To place your SL below this particular region, which is quite alright, right? So place your SL below this region and place your SL what's it called, below this trend line as well. It makes you much more what's it called on a safer mode. So because even do you know why we actually did that is because even if it is going to trigger this particular trend line right here like this, you are still going to be a sort of safe actually. So that's why I said you understand your SL placement and you know what exactly you are doing actually. So talking of that, so but on a more serious note, AUDNZD are prone to have a very longer weak reaction to your entries actually. So that's why I said you don't just use your conventional SL size that you use for your other peers with AUDNZD. You can just do well to take ticks around them and know what exactly you are doing. So this is more like what's it called? This is more like a 16-hour trade. So it's very easy for you to can just reduce what's it called, you can just increase SL a bit below your trend line confluence sort of things actually, because this is more like what's it called, this is more like the reason why we use trend line for our confluence, just for you to know how deep your entry is going to be, and also wow what's it called, why in case it's going to come back, when exactly at what point in price do we expect it bounce back actually. So it's not actually logic, not something magic actually. So we have a significant break of structure to the upside right here. So after that break, what do you have? You have this break of structure, then we have this key level here, like serving as a RBS resistance broken that on support, right? So the Istanbul that on support that sponsor this buys again to the upside, then we have something like that. So here we have the same thing that happened right here. All of this here, I think this didn't trigger, but here more like more continuation to the upside as well. So we had that impulsive break to the upside and see what exactly happened right there. So after that, what do you look at? So you go back to your daytime frame again to see what exactly is going on in the daytime frame. So talking of a daytime frame, see what we have right here. So daytime frame, we had this actually. We had this imbalance right here, and we had all this CRT low right here. CRT low right here. But here there's something very very important I need to pay attention to, which is taking of talking of this actually. You know, we have the CRT low right here and an imbalance right there. But why do you have all of this gap right here? So there's another thing we need to understand, that we can still consider some candles as multiple candles considered a single candle CRT, which is combine this candle and this candle together to become a single CRT candle. I think this is what happened right here after filling this imbalance. But the whole narrative that happened here is like it came to fill the imbalance and close above it. But on a more advanced structure, you had this. So yeah, this actually. So this is more like an advanced structure, but on a preliminary level, more like an imbalance fill up actually. So we had this rather. So we had more like an Empukloski level sort of reaction from this skill level, and we had this CLT defined range. But here you have to pay attention that we have an imbalance right here that makes a lot of sense, right? So because I cannot just mark an Empukloski level and say this is more like a CLT low and then the CLT high. Then you ask me that how do you understand that this is going to be a CLT low and a CLT high? Like how do you even know this is going to take this out? Well, here this actually gives us an insight. This whole imbalance gives us that insight that okay, you had an apocryphal level sort of things actually here, and more like a CLT low than a CLT high like that. So here, pay attention to whatever I'm about to say here. So take a look at that. So going to the lower time frame, what do you see in lower time frame? So going to the lower time frame, let's go to our 3 hours time frame. This is why we go to 3 hours time frame. It's more like an H4, but it's kind of what's it called, not really giving that structure we're looking at, right? So talking about 3 hours time frame, see what we had right there. So this is an upper close skill level. That upper close skill level will be marked on a daily time frame, right? So this is that. Sorry, I think here. So this is the upper close skill level marked on a daily time frame, right? This is the upper close skill level, and this is more like a CRT low marked on the dire time frame, the daily time frame key level. So this is that CRT low right here, and this is more like, yeah, sorry. This is more like this is more like this. This is more like this actually here. So you had this reaction that happened right here. So take a look at this. So the reason why I said we look at the imbalance before now is because to just give us more insight, like much more reasons to buy from. That's what I was saying actually. So it will make a lot of sense that we just what's it called, we swept the low of this eye here. Then we'll be looking for our POI. But instead, before we even sweep the high, see what happened here. Out of this mitigation of this particular zone, but could not really give us another breakout to the upside. We're already seeing a breakout here, but here we've not even mitigated that particular key level on another time frame, right? Because if you just mark this out and mark this as a breakout, it makes a lot of sense actually. But here we just add what's called, just as a breakout without a valid what's called a valid reaction, not until maybe you consider the imbalance as well. But the reason why we came so deep here is more like what's it called? It's more like sort of the trend line sort of things actually. So we had all of this region right here. So let me just delete this and let me just turn off this. So you had this coming, you had all of this trend line actually that actually gives us that anticipation of bearishness in price on AUDNZD. But here it's very crazy that it adds a lot of weak actually. But the fact that we swept this low now and we had a pre-cut against the upside, then you have we can actually now what's it called? We can actually now say okay, we've already had what's it called? We already had the CRT low got swept. Then we can actually now look for continuation again to the upside. So that being said, see how it eventually plays out again to the upside. So there's another thing to mention to, which is this. So take a look at this on a daytime frame. See what we had right here. I don't want the video to be very long. We are now using like 20 something minutes here. So see what happened right here. So this is more like an imbalance. So this is more like an imbalance right here. This is more like an imbalance, and this is more like an imbalance last days. So talking of that, feel like feeling an imbalance and then CRT inside that imbalance as well. So you can just go to your HTD again to see what exactly we are talking about. So this is on HTD and see what we are talking about. On HTD we had this. You are like an CRT low. A lot of things here. This is an imbalance that we marked actually. So this is like a CRT low we marked actually. So that CRT low says a lot of things actually, because take a look at this. If we have marked this as a reaction like this, then it's going to dump against us. So you'll not be asking that what exactly is this. So if you mark this as a HAP level, then you want to buy from, the moment it will not only give you a solid break of trade to the upside, then you know this is not going to hold again. Then you are settling for the last result. So we had this overlapping and imbalance. Then see what we had right there. So we had this overlapping and imbalance. Then after that, so let me just turn this back here. At developing an imbalance, then do you have a breakout? We've not really established a single breakout after the whole CLT developing an imbalance right there. So you had this one right here. You had this significant breakout to the upside right here. So here it's moved with a lot of volume and see what exactly. You can just go to 2 hours time frame to see more to it actually. So you cannot really consider that. So you cannot just mark the skill level out without a proper break of structure, because I will not lie to you. Entry here are very very what's called are very risky, because you could never could tell that the imbalance is still going to dump or more. So the moment you add the breakout again here to the upside, once you had a breakout against the other, then it is very affirmed one. Then there's another imbalance on a higher time frame. But what makes a lot of sense is that there's a key level overlapping the imbalance in this region to complete the whole CRT here. So these are the scenarios that you take trades when you don't even see an origin setup from a CRT level, or you can actually find a condition in the CRT narratives. So see what happened here. There's an imbalance on a higher time frame. Then there's an V-shaped level inside the imbalance. Then this more like a CRT low right here, and this more like a CRT high inside that major CRT high. So talking of that, so this is more like a direct entry we're talking about. So placing this looks like this actually. So it looks like this. Then you have this target upside, then your SI is going to be below all of these POIs actually. So it's more like a 5 hour trade to the upside. I explained that. So take a look at that. So here you see here that I could not really find anything clear. I just left it because there is no what's it called, there is no glory in you just trying to frame more that is not there, or you're trying to just force it out. Just work with it and flow with the flow, and the rest is going to be very easy for yourself. So here, see what we're actually. I'm still looking for bullishness in price on AUDNZD to the upside, because I can see that we're just very bullish on sort of things like a breakout and a test on trend line that happened right here. So looking for bullishness in price actually. So sort of things actually. So how I believe you've learned one or two things in this particular video today. Do well to go back to your chart and understand what the logic behind all of these my markings, so you can actually make them your own as well. So thanks for staying to the end of the video. It's always once again, it's Aman, and nice to have you guys. If you've not subscribed to the channel, do well to give a subscribe, like, and share to your friends and family. Let's do more together, and let's do greater things together. Have a blessed weekend. Bye.